Hello!
Hi, it's Giselle. I just got to the cafe, but I don't see you.
Oh, I'll come out and get you. Oh, there you are. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Samuel.
Hi, I'm Giselle.
I got a seat for us over here. Have a seat.
Okay, thanks. I'm Giselle, by the way. Nice to meet you. I'll be right back. I'm gonna order my drink.
No need. I already ordered your drink.
You ordered for me? How would you know what I want?
Well, I didn't really think about that, but trust me, I know what's best here. It should be out in a bit. Anyway, I saw on your dating profile that you like people that speak your language.
Oh, about that.
So, I don't know about you, but I speak English, Japanese, Korean, French, Spanish, Tagalog, Africans, Italian, Swedish, and...
Okay, I'm just gonna stop you right there, okay? What I was saying is that I made a typo on that. I meant to say someone who speaks my love language. And after these 2 minutes with you, I'm certain you do not speak mine. So without wasting each other's times, I'm gonna head out.
No, Giselle! Wait! Well, the scale was about Giselle and me having me for the first time through a dating app, and that was really fun. Anyway, Giselle, welcome back in the studio. So when was the last time we met? That was last year's November or something, right?
I know.
진짜 오래됐다.
Such a long time. It's good to be back here.
So how is everything going on so far?
Just been working,
Working
on my EP and my
still?
songs, but I don't really know what I was doing.
Uh-huh.
It's so messy right now.
Okay, how was the experience in the States?
It was good, but things were like not really like, I don't know. I didn't really feel safe. Because, it's still going on. The situation is still the same.
Yeah, and everyone's not even wearing their masks.
Right? So we stayed in the hotel and then we worked on some music. And I didn't meet a lot of friends there.
Okay, yet you caught COVID back then, right?
Yeah.
How was that experience? Share some with us.
It was just like a cold, actually, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I was sick for 3 days. I had a fever. I came down with a fever for 2 days. And then on the third day, I was feeling just fine.
Okay, so you treat it like a regular cold, or are there like a special medication thing how you have to take?
But
You do? Okay.
I mean, like, I had to take the medication for cold. Like the symptoms, like coughing or fever. But the problem was that I couldn't get on a plane. If you don't have the negative results, like you can't not get on a plane. So I had to stay there for like a month.
Yeah.
It just don't come out.
So I got a question. Do you get a refund for missing the plane though?
No.
아 진짜 불쌍하다.
No.
That must have cost a lot actually. You had to stay there for more like extra month. You have to pay for the hotels as well, right?
Yeah, but luckily my friend let me stay in his at her place. So I mean like we saved up a lot of money, but still. I just like really wanted to come back.
좋았습니다. 자, 그래도 finally you made it back here. So welcome. 잘 돌아오셨고.
Thank you.
You look better than ever actually.
Really?
저번보다 가기 전보다 훨씬 사람이 밝아 보여요.
진짜.
맞아요. 아주 좋습니다. Anyway, since we spoke about language love language especially 오늘의 weekly versus 또한 language에 관련된 거를 준비를 해왔습니다. So, sound effect, please. A.
Becoming a master of one instrument of choice.
Versus B. Becoming a master of one language of choice. 원하는 악기 하나를 프로 수준으로 마스터하기 versus 원하는 언어 하나를 원어민 수준으로 마스터하기. 와, 이거 어려운데요. What do you think about this?
That's actually very 50-50 for me.
Okay.
Because I feel it's really sexy to speak a lot of different languages. It sounds very intelligent, and I don't know. But playing instruments, that's very much of a charm.
Right.
So yeah, I would love to do both, but if I had to choose one, I would choose instrument.
Okay, instrument. Wait, so the question is, how many languages do you speak? You speak about like 3,
it's
right?
2.5.
2.5. What's
Korean,
the 0.5 thing?
Korean, English, and a little bit of Japanese.
Okay, where'd
Very
you
little.
learn Japanese? I mean, we all know you graduated Japanese university back in the days,
Yeah, but it was an international school.
okay.
And yeah, I mean, I didn't have a chance to speak and practice Japanese ever since I graduated.
Oh, 좋아요, 좋아요.
So I lost all my Japanese skills.
But you know how to listen to it though, right?
If they speak too fast, I would be lost.
아우, 정말 그래도 할 줄 아는 게 어딥니까? 그리고 악기라면 what kind of instrument would you like to learn to play?
Guitar, first of
Okay.
all, and also drum sometimes, and harp.
Oh, harp. That's very unexpected. 그거 되게
Yeah.
배우면 되게 아름다운 악기잖아요.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, right? If you watch
맞아요.
Janae Aiko's live clips, like they play harp on the video, it's just so
Okay.
beautiful.
아주 좋습니다. Anyway, before we go through our listeners' opinion and today's weekly verses, we have a lot of messages coming in. First one from Let Landicho says, "We missed you, Giselle."
Hey!
And Xander said, "Giselle, 완전 오랜만이다."
Is that?
Yeah, that's Xander.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hi.
come back soon. 선생님도 지젤 반가워요. 언어 천재 지젤 오늘 활약상 기대할게요. 맞아요. 오늘 지젤이 없으면 정말 큰일 날 뻔했습니다. 저 또한.
아닙니다.
와주셔서 너무 감사드리고요. We'll be back to go through some of your opinions on weekly verses after a song. This is Giselle featuring 창모 with Language. That was Giselle featuring Changmo with Language. So you guys are in our segment called Today's Weekly Verses. And let's first get your opinions gathered over the past 24 hours. So 54 point of people voted for A, which was becoming a master of one instrument of choice when...
46% of people voted for B, becoming a master of one language of choice.
Okay, so let's go through some of the reasons who chose A, Giselle.
Liz354 said, I love music, so the instrument I choose would be piano. I could also play it for church.
Oh, that's true. Blue Mindy says, I want to be able to freely express myself non-verbally. Yes, that is also true. Next one from?
Miles 0802 because I really want to learn how to play guitar or piano so that I can express myself more.
Good. And Cassie Cascas says music is universal.
That's true.
Yeah, Enid Wang says music doesn't need translation. Yes, true. Mildred says?
Through music, you could still relay the message. Music has all the emotions and people can relate.
BD201997 added, I'd like to be a master of instruments. It'll be amazing to know how to make music too. 그러게요. 다음 거는요?
Final said, 언어는 뭔가 마음만 먹으면 배울 수 있을 것 같은데 악기는
그럴 수 있죠. Last one from Just Judge Judy says, I always wanted to be serenaded, but if I knew how to play the guitar, I can serenade myself. Okay, so that was 54% of people's opinion. So let's go to the B side. People who chose B. First one from...
Hippo Hong.
Yes,
My
yes.
nephew just got diagnosed being on the autistic spectrum. The doctor told us not to let him listen to digital music. So I like to learn an instrument so I can play it for him.
Wow, I don't quite...
So that's
Yeah.
that's
still A.
Oh,
yeah.
that was A. That was a 54% of
Yeah, so what do they mean by digital music though? I'm curious to know more about it. I mean, since this person is suffering from autistic spectrum, which is 자폐증 in Korean, so I guess the doctor is telling him or her to refrain from listening music through earphones, I guess, because that pretty much blocks the sound from all around the world, which kind of makes him to like be in a narrow situation, you know what I mean? 더 갇힌 상황에 들어갈까 봐 이렇게 들으라고 하는 것 같은데.
So it could be better to listen to classical music instead?
Yeah, classical and more acoustic, unplugged version of music, I guess. Yeah. Opinions from people who chose B. Techi says, I like to be a multilingual person so I can speak to people in different languages in foreign countries. Yes. So what is it like to be a bilingual, Giselle? I'm curious.
Well, it's convenient from time to time. I mean...
Are there benefits?
Of course, like if you go to that certain country, it's a lot easier actually.
Okay.
If you can speak Japanese, like, and you travel to Japan,
Yeah, that's much more
obviously,
convenient. Yeah, true. Especially in a country like Japan where their transportation system are so confusing. Especially the
Right.
subway system they have
I know
there.
it's like a spider web.
Right. Next one from HJS Diary says, a fluent level of language can get you a great job. This is coming from personal experience from my job. Oh, what kind of job you got? I'm curious. Abby Byun says,
저 시험 준비 때문에 중국어 배우는 중인데
oh,
살려주세요. 제 뇌에 더 들어갈 자리가 없어요. 중국어 잘하고 싶다.
아, 정말 어려운 언어죠. 중국어는 진짜
와우.
중국어를 잘하려면 아시잖아요. 수요일에는 산더가 아마 복귀할 것 같은데 산더가 돌아오면 he knows how to speak perfect Chinese too. Even though his mother language is
우와.
not Chinese, I believe his language system is different from normal Chinese, right? True? I forgot what it's called though, but you guys can learn Chinese from him too. So stay tuned, everyone. 그리고 계속해서 weekly verses에 대한 여러분의 답변을 보내주세요. Keep sending your thoughts on today's weekly verses, which was A, becoming a master of one instrument of choice versus B, becoming a master of one language of choice. 원하는 악기 하나 프로 수준으로 마스터하기 versus 원하는 언어 하나 원어민 수준으로 마스터하기. 여러분의 의견이 너무너무 소중합니다. We're gonna be back for part 3 after a song. This is Ash Island with Melody. Welcome back. You are listening to K-Ride on TBS EFM 101.3 in Seoul and surrounding areas. I am your driver, Samuel.
And I'm your special and temporary
Wow.
driver, Giselle. You can listen live with the TBS EFM app or catch our visual radio over on YouTube under the same name.
Wait, I'm curious. That on the script, or did you just come like, 갑자기 만든 거야?
Just improv.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're in the middle of our heated debate over A, becoming a master of one instrument of choice versus
B, becoming a master of one language of choice.
원하는 악기 하나를 프로 수준으로 마스터하기 대 원하는 언어 하나를 원어민 수준으로 마스터를 하기.
Wow.
Yeah, let's go back to the opinions we got previously and talk more about it actually. I guess it depends on the perspective, like efficiency wise or charm wise, because many people who would love to learn music is I think because of the charm of it, I guess. 근데 language를 터득하고 싶다는 분들은 약간 efficiency를 따지시는 분들인 것 같기도 해요. 그러니까 실용주의냐 혹은 낭만주의냐 둘 중에 하나인데 in that perspective I would definitely choose master one instrument over speaking numerous languages. Yeah.
Because you're a musician.
Yes, I am. Well, the love of my music is the main reason why I became musician, just like yourself, right? So, 그러니까 우리는 음악을 하는 사람들이니까 악기를 더 배우면 좋지만, would you suggest other people to learn instruments though?
But I think it's a very good hobby and also a lifestyle as well if you can play instrument very well. I mean, it's a way to, you know, show your creativity or your feelings and emotions. So I think it could act like a language sometimes.
Yeah, it does. But in a more emotional way, right?
Right.
Right. 근데 I think learning an instrument is a lot better compared to learning a new language because you also get to learn new language from musics too, right? Especially if I mean, we consider vocal an instrument too as a musician.
Right.
So if you learn how to sing, that means you get to learn all the different languages from other countries. For example, I see a lot of K-pop fans from all over the world who started learning Korean through a lot of K-pop songs,
that's
especially the
true.
songs from BTS nowadays. Like I was so amazed looking at a video from their concert. Like a lot of people were singing along their Korean lyrics while they're not being Korean. 진짜 한국어가 너무 잘 따라 부르고 떼창을 한국에서 듣는 것 같았어요. 저는. 그래서 if you want to achieve both, I suggest you learning one instrument, specifically vocal, singing, in order to learn how to speak different language at the same time. 저라면 그럴 것 같습니다.
Okay.
야야야. 그런데도 A를 스틱하시는 분들 계시죠? 아, A도 악기였구나. B를 스틱하는 분 중에 Elena Bellin, she said, I choose B, because before, when I applied for work and the employer saw my surname, he asked me about a certain language which I'm not a master of. That made me feel like a great failure and senseless. Aww. Yeah, what's your thought on that?
Huh. If it's related to work, I think it's definitely stressful. It could be stressful sometimes.
Right.
But I mean, it's not your mother tongue language. Like you don't have to speak it perfectly.
Right.
If you can, it's good. I mean, it's efficient, but you don't have to. I don't think you have to feel like it's a failure at all.
그럴 수도 있죠.
Yeah.
근데 the employer just made his or her guess because of her surname. So, like, imagine you're at a job interview and they saw your surname, and all of a sudden they started asking you, like, do you speak Chinese or Japanese? Like, especially for the ones who's not familiar with Asian cultures, like they don't know what our surnames are from, which countries and
Right.
stuff. So I got that a lot actually. When I was in Canada, a lot of people just came up to me and they went like "Konnichiwa," and I'm
Really?
glad that I spoke Japanese so I could reply back. But if I were the one who didn't know how to speak Japanese, then I'm probably like, oh, dude, I'm Korean. I don't speak Japanese. You know what I mean? So it's natural, and there's nothing you have to be sorry or like serious about. 정말 이게 안 좋은 게 아닙니다. 2144님은 A를 고르셨는데요. 성대도 악기로 쳐도 되나요? 전 그럼 A 고르고 음치 탈출할래요. 당연하죠.
Of course it is an instrument.
보컬 코드도 이거는 무조건 악기로 치는 겁니다. 너무 좋은 선택이세요. 그리고 아까 말한 그대로입니다. 노래하는 법을 배우면 언어도 자연스럽게 더 재밌게 배우실 수 있다는 것 꼭
Right.
염두하셨으면 좋겠고요. 1656님께서요.
피아노 마스터하고 싶은데 체르니 100번에서 20번까지 하니까 어렵더라고요. 그 이상 안 넘어가더라고요.
아, 이거 어렵죠.
I think that was me.
Yeah?
Because I remember I used to play piano like every single day when I was in elementary school before I moved to the States.
Uh-huh.
I think I was pretty good. I don't know if I remember it correctly, but
That's probably
then
a
I
distorted
stopped.
memory, I think.
but I stopped.
근데 피아노는 정말 치고 싶은 대로 치는 게 맞는 것 같아요. Even though I majored in composition, and in order to get into a composition major in university, you have to know how to play piano, like the piano majors.
Right.
So I know how to play piano and all that, but I never stick to the basics of it. I just played whatever I wanted in the past, which got me to university, which I gave up in the eventually though. 정말 근데 마음대로 치시는 대로 치는 게 좋습니다. There's a pianist called Chick Corea. Are you familiar with his name?
No.
So he's a really famous pianist, like a first-gen pianist, and he's the teacher of Uehara Hiromi, a Japanese pianist. I'm a huge fan of her, and he taught her piano by telling her, think of the color blue and just play it. Or think of the color red and just play it, such like that. 진짜 그냥 정석으로 가르치지 않고 색깔로 연동해서 가르치는 교육법 이런 거 아주 좋거든요.
와,
그래서
신기하다.
아주 좋아요. Another one from Ether Blue says.
그렇게 배우고 싶었던 영어. I think I'm quite good now, but now I have become 연계국어. So I pick one more instrument.
영계국어일 수 있죠. 영계국어일 수 있지만 다른 언어를 많이 배우시려면 아까도 말씀드렸다시피 저라면 인스트루멘트를 배워라 라고 말씀을 드리고 싶습니다. 지셀은 어때요? 지셀, do you still think learning more new language is more important than learning a new instrument?
Like I said, I feel 50-50.
Okay, there's no 50-50. This is supposed to be very intense.
Yeah, I mean, if it was for me, I would learn instrument definitely because I am a musician. It would be very nice if I can play different kinds of instruments.
Uh-huh.
But if it was for my friends, I would tell them to learn languages. Because
Okay.
it's more efficient. I mean, if they go travel around the world, it's more easier. It's easier. And if they work career-wise, I think it could be very efficient.
Okay, thank you so much for your opinion. Anyway, we're in the middle of this hard-boiling debate. 여러분들 돌아와가지고 final verdict를 내리도록 하겠습니다. We're going to be back for our final verdict after a song. This is 미스피츠 with 2080. Welcome back, everyone. We're still in the middle of debate, which between A, becoming a master of one instrument of choice, versus B, becoming a
master of one's language of choice.
Yeah, 원하는 악기 하나 프로 수준으로 마스터하기 대 원하는 언어 하나 원어민 수준으로 마스터하기인데 와, I gotta admit today's topic is really hard to choose between one because both are really good actually. Sounds really good for me too. What's your thought on this? You're still confused too,
I
right?
still am.
So let's go through some more opinions from our listener who chose A first from 선생님께서.
저는 낭만주의 한 표.
오.
악기를 프로 수준으로 마스터하고 싶어요.
네.
언어는 눈치껏 하면 될 것 같은데요. 안 되면 바디랭귀지도 하면 되지 않을까요?
She has a point actually.
Yeah.
Nowadays the applications are so well developed that you don't even have to speak a language.
I
Like the
know.
phone speaks for you automatically if you type in
Right.
your own language into 그런 거 해봤어요?
Not yet.
안 해봤어요?
Yeah, but I think if I ever travel another country that I can't speak the language, I really want to try it. It's pretty accurate, I
그럴 수
hear.
있죠. 그럴 수 있죠. 맞아요. 진짜 accurat한 게 I tried it once for the Korean convenience store. I translated Korean into some other random language by just taking picture of it.
Oh, really?
Like 이정표 or the product in the convenience store, it just automatically translate that for you.
Wow.
되게 좋아요. 근데 anyways 좋은 포인트였습니다. A의 선생님. B, people who chose B, first one from Imelda Velarde says, I choose B. I want to explore the language regarding foods. I need to master doing recipes combined in diff countries for my future restaurant. Oh, so her dream is to come up with a restaurant. I'm curious about it. 정말 좋은 의견인데, what's your thought on this? Yeah?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, if I were into like food and the restaurants, like
Yeah, definitely. You have
Yeah,
to
I think
learn
that's
new language, like in
right.
terms of ingredients, especially. The last time I was in the States, I didn't know how to say cilantro in English. Like, I'm a huge fan of cilantro, 고수죠. 근데 I would really wanted to order that, but I didn't know the word, so I had to come up with a dictionary. Like, what's 고수 in English? Like, oh, cilantro. Good. Yeah, Siska Andriani says, LOL, I can sing songs from many different languages, but I don't understand the lyrics. Well, that's a great start. You don't have to understand the other languages in the beginning. 그냥 처음부터 천천히 그런 식으로 시작하는 거죠.
Right.
Especially for a lot of guitarists, famous guitarists, they started playing guitars by air guitar. You know what an air guitar is? Like you're not actually holding the guitar,
Right.
but you're playing as if you're holding a guitar.
Right.
That's how everyone begins. So that's a good start, Siska.
That's true.
Yeah. 5648님께서요?
지젤님, 언어 잘하는 게 섹시한 것도 사람이 받쳐줘야 효과 있답니다.
Oh.
스페인으로 여행 가서 우리 남편을 만났죠.
오.
유창하게 스페인어 하는 모습에 첫눈에 반해버렸지만 지금은 어이쿠.
정말 좋네요. So she got married to her husband because he spoke Spanish, right? Spanish too?
아,
Yeah?
I wish.
Okay. 아무튼 많은 의견 너무 감사드리고요. But I still think that majority of people are trying to learn new instruments over other language. Like I mentioned, I mean it's always so much fun to learn instruments than learning new language. And at the same time, like I said, learn how to sing. Like you can learn how to speak different language at the same time by singing songs from different countries as well. So for the ones who's too afraid of learning new instruments, thinking that is it too late? 너무 늦은 거 아닌가? 걱정하시는 분들을 위해서 I have prepared a very good news for y'all. It is never too late to learn an instrument. And like I said, many people think that picking up an instrument as an adult is not a probable thing to do. So they put aside their desires, but do not despair.
Norman Weinberger, a neuroscientist at University of California, Irvine, who has done pioneering research on the auditory system and the brain, says that while it's harder for the mature brain to learn an instrument, it's not impossible. He says a lot of people believe the brain isn't very plastic after puberty. In fact, the brain maintains its ability to change. It's as easy to learn something when you're 65 as it is at 5. No. But can it be done? Yes.
And a cool fact, learning a new instrument as an adult is going to be a lot like learning a new language at the same time because for an adult beginner, when you're hunched over the piano or blowing a violin, you're using your muscles and most of your senses. And your brain is working really hard. You're reading the notes, counting the rhythm, and trying to keep a steady beat and make it sound like music. That is why, unlike with language, there is no single music center in the brain. Rather, there are a lot of them.
So what's the difference in learning a new instrument as a kid versus as an adult? Children are growing new brain cells all the time. So when they're learning music, some of those brain cells are devoted to playing their instrument. Adults, on the other hand, have to work with the brain cells they already have and create new connection or synapses between them. So the conclusion is it's not too late.
Yeah, it's never too late.
It could be a little bit hard though.
Right. It could be a little bit hard. 근데 말씀드렸다시피 음악을 배우는 건 항상 좋습니다. Both mentally and emotionally. Yeah. I mean, both are pretty much the same. So,
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, 몇 개가 더 들어왔는데요. 4363님께서 저는 B. 언어 하나 이상 원어민급으로 마스터하기입니다. 악기는 그냥 취미로 스트레스 풀 수 있을 정도면 만족할 것 같고 코드만 알면 될 것 같은데 언어는 나이가 들면 들수록 힘들어요. 심지어 국어도 점점 퇴행하는 듯한.
Oh my gosh.
So 4363 chose B, saying that he or she want to learn language like a native speaker. And he said that learning a new instrument, that could be quite satisfying just by playing a few chords, just enough to play a song of his or her favorite list. But languages, it gets very, how do you say, 퇴보, like bad, worse as you get older. 근데 do you agree with this?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
What? Do you feel like you're losing your Korean system or English system as you get older?
Every day. I mean, the 사자성어 that
Yeah.
we always use, like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, "Oh, what do you say that? Like, how do you say that? Like, I can't think of it. And even English as well. And Japanese, I lost the 80% of it
Yeah.
already.
그건 쓰지 않으니까 어쩔 수 없는
Yeah.
거죠. 근데 아무튼 좋은 뒷받침 의견 너무 감사드립니다. 4363님. 처음님께서도 근데 코로나 끝나고 해외여행 다닌다고 하면 언어가 필요할 수도 있겠네요. 오늘도 참 선택하기 쉽지 않아요. 둘 다 너무 갖고 싶네요. 근데 in this case, she doesn't have to learn new language. All she needs to do is just carry around her phone with the translation application where that it'll just speak for you. 이거는 별로 큰 이유는 아닌 것 같고. So that brings me to our final verdict. I would love to say that just start learning new instrument. 그러면 더 재밌게 다른 언어를 배울 수 있다. So that way you can learn foreign language in much more fun manner. 그리고 eventually, if you want to dig more deep into the language you use during the process of learning music, then start learning that specific language. 그러지 않을까요?
Interesting.
What about your final verdict? Let's hear it. There's
I
no,
would
I'm still
say-
50-50.
I would say
Yeah.
language.
Okay, why?
No, I changed my mind.
Okay, why?
Because I mean, like, 처음님 also said that if we, after Corona, if we can go travel around the world, we could use a help of language. And I think that's very true because I sometimes feel very satisfied if I communicate with a foreign friend in that certain language.
Okay.
You know, like I don't need the app or anything. Like if it's possible for me to learn it and then practice it and then actually use it in life, then I think that's more satisfying.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Thank you so
Is it
much
just
for
me,
your
though?
opinion. So Giselle chose B over A and I chose A over B. So I say our final verdict is down to 50-50 again, unfortunately. 하지만 정말 재밌는 시간이었던 것 같습니다. Anyway, before we let you go, Giselle, it's almost time, for you to go. How was the experience today?
I love it. I mean, it feels so nice to be back here. It feels like my second home. I'm not
Okay.
really lying though.
Really?
Because I used to come here every week. So, it feels very 익숙해. Everything is.
Okay, so since you didn't get to say goodbye to our listeners properly last time, and
I know.
we never know when we'll have you back anytime soon. So, can you say one last word of goodbye or any good words for our listeners, please?
I've been working on my projects, and hopefully, it's gonna come out in a couple months or I'm not really sure about the date, but it's coming on its way. So 기대해 주시고.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
좋습니다. 오늘 지젤과 함께 해주셔서 너무 감사드리고요, 여러분. We're gonna say goodbye to her with this song. This is Jisoo with 멀리 멀리. Thank you so much, Giselle. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.